Hey everyone. Welcome back to our What If? Series. In this episode, we're continuing the wild ride of Deku's romantic escapades with 4 heroines and 1 mysterious murderer. Brace yourselves for unexpected twists, intense emotions, and a story you won't see coming. Let's dive into part 2 of this gripping alternate universe tale from My Hero Academia. Izuku quickly gets up from bed, noticing Lady Nagant blushing as she looks at him affectionately. Nagant, I didn't think you'd be like this, Izuku-kun. Giggles. She says as she watches Izuku, who is blushing and has a significant headache. He leaves his room and goes to the bathroom, opening a small cabinet to take some headache pills with water. After a sigh and a glance in the mirror, he notices a bit of blood on his neck. He heads back to his room, grabs some clothes, showers, and comes out dressed. As he goes downstairs, all the girls turn to look at him, quickly standing up and approaching. Ryukyu, Midoriya, are you okay? Mount Lady, do you want something to eat? I'll make you breakfast. Nemuri, sweetie, if you're tired, I can give you a massage to help you relax. Nagant, Izuku-kun, do you want to go out with me? Mirko. Izuku, it seems what I told them yesterday affected them a lot. He thinks to himself while the girls stare at him. Without saying a word, Izuku leaves and heads to his car, driving towards Nezu's house. Meanwhile, the girls discuss in the living room. Ryukyu, well, sitting here won't solve anything. Let's go to work and not bother him to give him some time alone. Nemuri, what if he comes back drunk again? Mount Lady, we can't leave the house unattended, he might come back drunk, as the old lady mentioned. Nemuri, who are you calling an old lady, you damn fake? Mount Lady, fake? You bitch, I'm going to kill you. Nagant, shut the hell up. You see, you caused this yourselves. If you hadn't been acting stupid, Izuku would still be with us. Nemuri, shut up, Nagant. Ryukyu, Kaina is right. It's better to stop fighting. You brought this upon yourselves. At least, I got along with him. Nemuri and Mount Lady remain silent, but Mirko continues to be quiet, which is quite unusual after what happened. Back with Izuku. Our protagonist is seen at the civil registry entrance with Nezu on his shoulder. Nezu, are you ready? Izuku, yes. Nezu, all right. They enter the registry and, after a while, come out with a serious expression on Izuku's face. Nezu, are you okay, young man? Izuku, yes. Well, I'll drop you off at your place and then go to mine to prepare for the move. Nezu, true. Aizawa told me about the other house. Izuku, yeah, I'll be living there. I don't want them to come to my house again. They won't let me go. Nezu, all right, young man. They get into Izuku's car, and he drives while talking to Nezu. After a few minutes, they arrive at Nezu's house. Izuku bids farewell, and Nezu tells him about the girls. Izuku. Director. Nezu. What's up, young man? Izuku. Do you know where the girls live? Nezu. Unfortunately, yes. Why? Izuku. Can you send me the addresses? I'll drop off their things since I'm done with mine. Nezu. All right, young man. If you want, you can give me the house keys, and I'll let them know later. Izuku. Are you sure? Nezu. Of course, young man. After all, you were good to them, and they treated you poorly. Izuku. Except for Miss Ryukyu. She was the only one who treated me well. Nezu. All right, young man. Izuku. I'll drop off the keys, and you can inform them. Nezu. Good. Izuku. Okay. Izuku ends the call, hands over the keys, and heads towards his new home. He reflects on the girls as he drives, considering how to handle his school situation. Izuku, I still need to figure out how I'll attend school. Maybe I can ask the director if I can take exams independently since I'm in the general course, and attendance isn't mandatory. I already know everything they teach me. He says to himself while driving, accompanied by Wally and Eva in the car and the Parabot. Izuku, I'll have to carefully consider the classes. I don't want to run into Miss Midnight. After 2 hours, he arrives at his new house, unloads his things with the help of movers, and organizes everything. Izuku, here, this is the address. I'll be back in a moment. He hands the address to the mover, who nods, and Izuku makes a call to Nezu. Izuku. Director. Nezu. What's up, young man? Izuku. Can you send me the girls' addresses? I'll drop off their things since I'm done with mine. Nezu. Alright, young man, but I'll go there later to inform them about what happened. Izuku. Okay. Izuku hangs up, hands over the keys to the mover, and leaves for his new house. As he looks back at his old home, he feels a pain in his chest, sheds a tear, quickly wipes it away, and drives towards his new life. Izuku, it was nice to have human company at home. But they can't stay with me anymore. At least, this way, they'll be fine. With Nezu. We see Nezu outside Izuku's old house, sitting on Aizawa's shoulder, and the girl standing in front of him. Nezu straightforwardly tells them that Izuku annulled the marriage, leaving the girls in shocked silence. Nezu, he has already moved to his other house. He asked me to come here so you can take your things and go back to your normal lives. The women enter the house to find their belongings already packed in boxes as Izuku had instructed. Ryukyu, after all we've been through, he still organized our things. She says with a somewhat sad tone, as she had developed some affection for Izuku, just like Nemuri and Mount Lady, who bonded quickly with him through shared memes. The girls gather their things, and Aizawa takes them to their respective homes. Kaina returns to her old home, though she doesn't want that. She wants to be with Izuku because she cares about him. But it's too late, things are done, and they can't be undone. All they can do is move forward, even if it hurts. Back with Izuku. Wally and Eva finish cleaning the living room, while Izuku completes cleaning the bathroom. Once done, he heads to the kitchen, where he starts cooking with the ingredients he brought. About 30 minutes later, he sits down in the living room, enjoying his dinner and watching a movie. He momentarily feels like he's with the girls but shakes his head, continuing to eat and watch the film. Izuku, after all, eating alone isn't that bad. A new day starts in Izuku's new house. He wakes up to find Eva and Wally sleeping next to him, along with a parrot, making him smile. He heads to the kitchen, prepares and eats breakfast while watching the news. The news mentions All Might arresting another villain and other unimportant things. Izuku, well. Sighs, I have to continue cleaning the house, or I'll never finish. After breakfast, which is cereal with milk, Izuku spends the day cleaning the various rooms of the large house with help from Eva and Wally. He finishes cleaning the first and second floors, and even the parrot accidentally slips while cleaning, making Izuku laugh. Later, Izuku notices there's no fence around the house, so he decides to build one for added security. He starts measuring and planning, revealing his knowledge of construction. He completes the fence in a month, leaving a space for an electric gate, and takes a break. Izuku then goes to buy bricks and cement to build the gate, and after 3 days, the materials arrive. With the help of Eva and Wally, Izuku constructs the gate over the next month. He takes a break, planning to add an electric portal later. In the garage, Izuku works on a holographic system, reminiscing about his mother's influence on his skills. He installs a fingerprint recognition system on the garage door for security. Izuku successfully builds the holographic system in 2 months, excited that things are going well in his life. He discovers 3 old robots in the underground, a surprise from his mother. After fixing them, he activates the robots, making them move around the garage. Izuku feels his mother left them there, knowing he would return. Izuku, I have a feeling you left them here, anticipating my return, didn't you, Mom? Excited about his inventions, Izuku invites Wally and Eva to see the holographic system. They congratulate him, and Izuku demonstrates a holographic scan of Wally and Eva. The robots express amazement, and Izuku decides it's time for a break. The next day, Izuku hires a worker to build an electronic gate based on his design. After 4 days, the gate is complete, and Izuku installs cameras for security. He buys and installs security cameras and speakers controlled by Jarvis. With his house now secure, Izuku faces a new problem, dealing with his boss, who might reprimand him for missing work. Despite the potential issue, Izuku installs safety measures in the house and heads to work. Eva, Wally, and Jarvis take care of the house in his absence. Thinking about getting a dog and a cat, Izuku enjoys dinner and watches anime before heading to work in his car, testing the newly installed gate. Satisfied with its functionality, he drives into the city, listening to music and reflecting on life. Izuku, well, glad it works. He continues driving while listening to music. A new day begins, but we'll focus on the heroines who have returned home. It seems they haven't been doing well since Izuku left their lives. Mirko. Let's start with Mirko, the messiest one. Lately, she's been missing Izuku's presence. She used to enjoy having him around to chat or annoy. However, She now realizes everything she did was wrong. Her home is a mess, and she misses the smell of Izuku's cooking. She acknowledges she was awful to him. She regrets hitting Ryukyu once when Izuku intervened. Mirko realizes she was terrible to Izuku and misses the little things he did to please her. Mount Lady. Mount Lady didn't spend much time with Izuku, but she grew fond of him. She regrets not valuing those moments, realizing the saying "value what you have before it's gone" applies to her loneliness now. She misses the clean clothes and tidy rooms Izuku provided. Midnight. Nemuri has felt lonely since Izuku left, and she blames herself for separating from him. She regrets mistreating him despite his kindness. She misses the order Izuku brought to her life, and she now regrets not realizing his worth sooner. Ryukyu. Ryukyu is deeply affected and sad since Izuku left. She developed a strong attachment to him and misses their time together. She searches for Izuku, wanting to see him again. She misses their meals, conversations, and even the time spent working on robots together. Ryukyu realizes she has deep feelings for Izuku. Lady Nagant. Lady Nagant misses Izuku tremendously. She searches for him daily, hoping to see and hug him. She believes her feelings toward Izuku are pure love. These 5 women have been acting strangely since Izuku left, but they believe it's better this way, avoiding causing him more harm. However, little do they know. Present a new day begins at Izuku's house. He's had a tough week at work, but, thanks to his efforts, things are going well. He's become friends with a colleague, and Nezu has allowed him to work on various projects. Izuku is waiting for parts to arrive to build his armor, keeping it a secret from Nezu. He's excited and nervous about starting the project. While working, Jarvis alerts Izuku of visitors, Aizawa, Nezu, and 5 others. Izuku instructs Jarvis to let them in and asks Wally and Eva to wait outside. The visitors are surprised to see Izuku working on robots in the garage. Aizawa warns them not to touch anything, and they enter the house. The heroines follow with seriousness and silence, making the students nervous. As they descend the stairs, they hear a robotic voice, and upon entering, they find Izuku welding a robot. Nezu, hi, young Midoriya. Izuku, hi, director. Tell me, what do you need? Nezu, well, young Futaba wanted to meet the person who has been making the robots we're using in the academy. She wants to be an inventor too. Izuku, Futaba? Oh, I know her. She's the girl in the next class, right? Nezu, I see you know her. Izuku, just by chance. Power Sensei mentioned a girl named Futaba who also wants to be an inventor. Nezu, I see. And who are the others with you? Izuku, they're the big 3, the best in the academy, and the closest to being number 1. Izuku, alright, let me finish, and I'll join you. In the meantime, Jarvis, tell Wally and Eva to bring something for the guests. Yes, sir. Everyone is surprised to hear the echoing voice in the garage. Shortly after, Wally and Eva come down. Eva carries a tray with Coca-Cola, and Wally brings some snacks. The guests receive the items, and Eva takes the tray away, returning with chairs for them to sit. Meanwhile, Izuku continues welding parts of the new robot. Nezu, are these your new inventions, young Midoriya? Izuku, yes, I plan to have some plants in the front yard, and I need someone to take care of them while I'm working or busy. So, I created them to handle that. He finishes welding, moves the robot, and turns it on. The robot glows and starts moving, flying with the blades on its head. Izuku takes off his welding mask and watches the robot in action. The robot Izuku, well, it's ready, hee hee. Izuku, well, it's ready, hee hee. He sees the robot exploring the garage, and then notices a brown-haired girl in a lab coat. Izuku, are you Futaba-san? Futaba, hello. Futaba, hello. Izuku, well, I'm Izuku Midoriya, the creator of the robots around the academy. Futaba, nice to meet you, Midoriya-san. I see you've created several robots. Izuku, yes, the ones you saw earlier were created some time ago, and these new ones here were made yesterday. I finished building the flying one today. Futaba, yes, I noticed. Well, are you the famous big 3 of UA? Mirio, yes, nice to meet you, Midoriya. Tamaki, and nice to meet you, Midoriya-san. Nehire, nice to meet you, Midoriya-kun. Izuku, likewise. So, what brings you here? Aizawa, we snuck in. Izuku, I see. Well. Izuku stands up, grabs one of the 4 ground robots, places it on the table with the computer, connects a cable, and starts typing on the keyboard. After a moment, he disconnects the robot, and it walks to the garage door, passing through a trapdoor to the yard. He does the same with the other 4 robots, and they follow. Izuku sighs, okay, I'm done. Futaba, you're really good. What did you do to them? Izuku just gave them some tasks and activated the program for proper functioning. Futaba, wow, you're quick. Izuku, I've been doing this since I was little, so I got used to it and became fast. Futaba, cool. Izuku, now that you've seen what I do, what can I do for you? Futaba, if it's not too much trouble, could you teach me to create robots properly? Every robot I make either explodes or doesn't work. Izuku, I see. You probably connect things incorrectly or don't know how to connect the cables and activate the functions. Futaba, exactly. Izuku, well, if the director allows, I can teach you a few things. Nezu, that's why I brought her with you. Izuku, alright. Hato, by the way, that voice we heard earlier, is it a robot? Izuku, voice? Oh, you mean Jarvis? Hato, Jarvis? Izuku, yes, Jarvis is an artificial intelligence I created. It helps me with various tasks, and Izuku writes on his computer, making the text appear in front of everyone. They are surprised, especially when Izuku stands up and grabs the letters. Nezu, what is that, young man? As the words transform into one of the robots he created, Izuku explains. Izuku, it's an advanced hologram I made a few weeks ago. Nezu, really? Mirio, incredible. Tamaki, I have no words. Aizawa, neither do I. Nehire, approaches Izuku, hey, Midoriya-kun, what can you do with this? Izuku, many things. For example, Jarvis, show the hologram of the claw glove. As you command, sir. Jarvis projects a glove with 3 claws, surprising everyone. Izuku puts his hand in the glove and moves it, making it look real. Izuku, this hologram has many functions that I can't disclose, as it's quite important to me. Nehire, amazing. Can I try? Izuku, of course. Izuku takes his hand out, and Nehire puts hers in, moving the holographic glove flawlessly. Nehire, incredible. Izuku, isn't it? He smiles, watching Nehire jumping in excitement like a child. Futaba, this is truly amazing. I can't believe you created all this. Izuku, believe it, the director knows what I've accomplished. Nezu, remember the robot that sold for millions? Futaba, really? Nezu, yes, young Midoriya made it. Futaba, incredible. Please let me be your student and teach me to create cool robots like yours. She says with excitement, and Izuku looks at Nezu, who nods. Izuku sighs. Izuku, alright, I can't refuse, as I owe the director a few favors, and this can at least repay him. Futaba, really? Izuku, yes, but don't shout, I'm just a meter away. Futaba, I'm sorry Bose. Izuku, don't do that, I don't like it. I'm human. Futaba, alright. Izuku, well, director, I suppose we're even for all the things you've done for me? Nezu, yes, but I'll have to see if Miss Futaba progresses. If not, the deal is cancelled. Izuku, sighs, what a way to negotiate. But okay, I'll teach her some things. Nezu, thank you. They were about to continue talking when Izuku's stomach growls, making everyone look at him. He blushes, scratches his head, and laughs nervously. Nezu, well, I guess it's time to leave. Izuku, don't you want to stay? I'll order pizza. Nehire, pizza? She says, drooling, and a cloud forms above her head with the image of a pizza. Futaba does the same, sharing the same thought. Izuku, Mirio, and Tamaki look at them with a sweat drop, in chibi form. Aizawa, are you sure, Midoriya? Izuku, yes, it's nice to share food and eat with others. Nezu, I see you've been feeling lonely, alright, we can stay until sunset. Izuku, great, let's go upstairs. Everyone, yes. They all go to the first floor, where Izuku orders pizzas over the phone. He then goes to take a shower and comes down ready. The pizza delivery arrives, and everyone eats. After a long time, Izuku feels good about eating with company. It's been a few days since they visited Izuku. He has been busy with his tasks, consistently getting good grades. The armor pieces have arrived, and he started assembling them slowly, being cautious to avoid mistakes. Despite receiving messages and calls from Ryukyu and the girls, Izuku hasn't responded. He knows it wouldn't be good for him. Izuku has also been researching various things and transferring his notes to Jarvis's digital memory, which takes a considerable amount of time due to the volume of information. Now, let's focus on our main character, who continues working on the armor, storing it in the basement. Futaba arrives at his house as she begins to be Izuku's student. After storing things, Izuku goes upstairs and opens the door, finding Futaba dressed in a red shirt and black pants, along with white sneakers. Futaba, hi, Midoriya-kun. Izuku, hello, Futaba-san. Don't stand outside, come in. He makes way for her, and Futaba enters the house as Izuku closes the door. They have a brief conversation, and Izuku offers food, though Futaba declines, having eaten before. They discuss getting something to eat later, and Izuku continues explaining things to Futaba in the garage. Skipping ahead, Izuku orders burgers and pizza while they continue their lessons. He explains various concepts, and Futaba, with a notebook, diligently notes down the information. Later, they watch a series together, and Izuku asks Futaba about her preferences for drinks and snacks. Skipping to the end of the day, Izuku drops Futaba off at her house, reflecting on the pleasant dinner. While driving, he spots Ryukyu on the street but doesn't approach her. Arriving at work, he encounters odd occurrences with the automatic doors, feeling uneasy. After a peculiar night, he heads home, attributing the strange events to work-related fatigue. Upon reaching home, Izuku prepares breakfast, eats, and eventually goes to bed, feeling the effects of tiredness and drifting into sleep. Time skip 4 months. Month 1. In this month, Izuku slowly assembled his armor. Thanks to Nezu's influence in the country, he managed to acquire some items for Izuku, such as small missiles, a laser, and more. These were incorporated into the armor, which now stands at 25% completion and is gray. In this month, Izuku also taught Futaba many things, and she can now create a good robot. This brought him a lot of joy as Izuku helped her progress significantly. Month 2. During this month, Izuku dedicated considerable effort to his armor, reaching 50% completion. He didn't give Futaba lessons this month due to his busy schedule at UA, but this worked well for Izuku. It allowed him to focus all his time on his armor. In the evening, he went to work, where strange things continued to happen. However, Izuku didn't pay much attention, as he had no time to dwell on supernatural occurrences. Month 3. In this month, Izuku continued to build his armor, reaching an impressive 75% completion. This made him quite happy, knowing that he was close to putting it into practice. He also added a system to Jarvis, enabling him to stay in contact even if he's miles away. Month 4. During this month, Izuku successfully completed his entire armor. He also stopped giving lessons to Futaba since he had taught her everything she wanted to know. Now free, he focused on finishing his armor, but he hadn't put it into action yet. During this time, while going to work, he encountered Ryukyu and Lady Nagant several times. They didn't notice him, although Izuku had the urge to hug them every time he saw them. However, his willpower prevented him from doing so. Now we see Izuku in his garage, transformed into his control center, similar to a Batcave. Izuku, alright, Babas, are you ready? The robot with an extinguisher nods, causing Izuku to move to the center of his control center while wearing the suit's mouthpieces. Izuku, alright, Jarvis, let's do it. The mark starts half a meter away and back to the center. He prepares, activates the propulsion, crashes into the wall, and Babas shoots freezing liquid. Izuku tells him to stop. Izuku, darn. Alright, next test. He tests various functions until he manages to fly well with his thrusters inside his control center and lands. Izuku, sighs, alright, time to start with the energy. He removes the armor parts and goes to the basement. There, he takes out his father's model and places it in his control center. Using a hologram, he replicates the model perfectly, moves it away, and starts looking at the hologram. He then does some things and creates a ball containing some elements that Izuku observes. Everything Izuku does. We observe Izuku holding a small reactor in his hand while looking at his armor. Izuku, it's incredible what I've achieved. It's incredible that you've created a new element, my lord. Izuku, I suppose you're right, Jarvis. Do you want me to proceed with scanning the armor and checking if everything is fine with the energy? Izuku, yes, Jarvis, it's time to activate the armor completely. He connects the reactor to the chest hole, causing light to appear in the armor's eyes. Izuku is surprised, and Jarvis begins the complete scan. Everything is fine with the armor, my lord. Izuku, good, it's time to test it. He enters the armor, and Jarvis starts scanning. Izuku positions himself in the center, and the door opens, launching him outside. He starts flying around the city at night. You might wonder why Izuku is testing his armor at night if he has to go to work. Well, it's the weekend. Everything Izuku does. After a few minutes, we see Izuku with an ice pack on his head due to a strong impact. Izuku, Jarvis, we need to fix the freezing system so we can fly without fear of freezing. As you command, my lord. Anything else? Izuku, yes, show me a sample of what the armor would look like painted green. Certainly, my lord. Jarvis shows a hologram where the armor is painted green, but Izuku is not convinced. Izuku, just focus on fixing the freezing issue for now. We'll deal with the color later. Understood, my lord. Jarvis starts working on the freezing problem, while Izuku takes a break, having some coffee and searching for things on the internet. Izuku, Jarvis, we need to find a way to know when and where villains and bad people will cause trouble. You could ask Director Nezu for help. Izuku, I suppose you're right, but he might get suspicious. I'll figure something out. Meanwhile, you fix the armor issue. Yes, my lord. Izuku, good. By the way, my lord, there's someone outside the house. Izuku, show me. The computer screen shows an image from the camera on the wall that Izuku installed. He's not surprised that someone is outside, but he is surprised that it's someone he knows well. Izuku, darn it, why is she here? He continues watching the screen, seeing Ryukyu looking at the camera. She's wearing a warm brown vest as it's quite cold outside. Izuku, curse it. How does she know I live here now? What should I do, my lord? Izuku, let her in. Understood. Jarvis opens the gate that leads to the house's yard, which is quite large. Ryukyu is surprised that the gate opens seemingly on its own, but she's not too shocked, knowing that Izuku is quite technologically advanced. Ryukyu, I hope he wants to talk to me. And I hope he lives here. According to Nehire, he lives here. Flashback. Ryukyu and Nehire patrolling, Nehire talking about Izuku's technology skills and AI creation, but not revealing his name due to confidentiality. End flashback. Ryukyu arrives at Izuku's house, greeted by Wally and Eva. They go inside, and Ryukyu sees Izuku carrying a flower robot in his hands. Ryukyu, Izuku. Izuku greets her, but she interrupts and hugs him, saying she missed him. Izuku wipes away her tears, and Ryukyu asks why he called off the marriage. Izuku, before answering your questions, let me make you some hot chocolate since it's cold outside. Ryukyu, yes, please. Your house is warm, but I'm still feeling the cold. Izuku, doesn't matter. Sit in the living room while I prepare the hot chocolate. Ryukyu sits, and Izuku goes to the kitchen, thinking, why now? After a few minutes, we read, Izuku with an ice pack on his head due to the tremendous impact he received. Izuku, Jarvis, we'll have to fix the freezing system so that next time we can fly without fear of freezing. As you command, my lord. Anything else? Izuku, yes, give me a sample of what the armor would look like painted green. Certainly, my lord. Jarvis shows him a hologram where the armor is painted green, which doesn't convince Izuku much. Izuku, just focus on fixing the freezing issue for now. We'll deal with the color of the armor later. Understood, my lord. Jarvis begins to address the freezing problem while Izuku has a coffee and searches for things on the internet. Izuku, Jarvis, we need to find a way to know when and where villains and bad people will cause trouble. You could ask Director Nezu for help. Izuku, I suppose you're right, but he might get suspicious. I'll figure something out. Meanwhile, you fix the armor issue. Yes, my lord. Izuku, good. By the way, my lord, there's someone outside the house. Izuku, show me. On Izuku's computer screen appears an image from the camera on the wall he installed when he put up the gate. He's not surprised that someone is outside, but he is surprised that it's someone he knows well. Izuku, darn it, why is she here? He continues watching the screen, seeing Ryukyu looking at the camera. She's wearing a warm brown vest as it's quite cold outside. Izuku, curse it. How does she know I live here now? What should I do, my lord? Izuku, let her in. Understood. Jarvis opens the gate that leads to the house's yard, which is quite large. Ryukyu is surprised that the gate opens seemingly on its own, but she's not too shocked, knowing that Izuku is quite technologically advanced. Ryukyu, I hope he wants to talk to me. And I hope he lives here. According to Nehire, he lives here. Flashback. Ryukyu and Nehire patrolling, Nehire talking about Izuku's technology skills and AI creation, but not revealing his name due to confidentiality. End flashback. Ryukyu arrives at Izuku's house, greeted by Wally and Eva. They go inside, and Ryukyu sees Izuku carrying a flower robot in his hands. Ryukyu, Izuku. Izuku greets her, but she interrupts and hugs him, saying she missed him. Izuku wipes away her tears, and Ryukyu asks why he called off the marriage. Izuku, before answering your questions, let me make you some hot chocolate since it's cold outside. Ryukyu, yes, please. Your house is warm, but I'm still feeling the cold. Izuku, doesn't matter. Sit in the living room while I prepare the hot chocolate. Ryukyu sits, and Izuku goes to the kitchen, thinking, why now? Izuku comes back after a few minutes with 2 cups of hot chocolate and notices Ryukyu looking at the house. Izuku, you look as beautiful as the day I left you. He thinks to himself while sitting on the living room couch. He hands a cup to Ryukyu, who takes it and starts drinking. Ryukyu, have you been okay? Izuku, yeah, pretty good. Things have worked out well for me, thank God. Ryukyu, that's good. Izuku, I even have the best grades at UA and general courses, and I've been creating some robots to handle yard work, like watering plants and stuff. Ryukyu, that's good. I'm happy for you. Izuku, and you? Have you been okay? Ryukyu, well, not really, but I've been trying to improve. Izuku, that's good. Trying to get better is important when things aren't going well. Izuku, more or less. But it doesn't matter because the more pain they cause you, the stronger you become. Or at least that's what I think. Ryukyu, I guess. The atmosphere becomes a bit uncomfortable as they fall into total silence. Izuku sees Ryukyu stand up and approach him, sitting beside him. Ryukyu, Izuku. She says while looking at him, placing her cup on the coffee table. Izuku meets her eyes, seeing the emotional pain Ryukyu is going through. He feels guilty for leaving her alone all this time when she had always been good to him. Izuku, I. Ryukyu, it's okay, you don't have to say it. I understand enough. Izuku puts his index finger on Ryukyu's lips, quieting her. Ryukyu is surprised and looks at Izuku, who then lowers his hands to hold hers. Izuku, I'm really sorry. I feel terrible for leaving you alone when you've always been kind to me. I messed up, and I apologize. Every day on my way to work, I see you walking down the street, and I've wanted to stop the car, hug you, and ask you to come back and live with me. But my pride got in the way. He says as he grabs Ryukyu's hands, and she sheds some tears, hearing Izuku apologize. Izuku, I did something stupid, but I didn't want you all to keep fighting because of me. All the fights you had started from the day you moved into the house. So, I didn't want things to get worse, and I had to annul the marriage so you could live better without problems. He lowers his gaze a bit, and Ryukyu feels Izuku squeezing her hands, causing her to move her hands and lift them to touch Izuku's cheek. He raises his eyes and meets Ryukyu's gaze. Ryukyu, it's okay. I understand your situation. But still, I missed you a lot. Izuku is surprised by Ryukyu's words. Ryukyu, in these past months, I realized some things, Izuku. I got used to you so quickly. Not feeling your presence around makes me quite sad and a bit lonely. Ryukyu slowly approaches Izuku, who is unsure of what to do or say. He remains silent and still, watching as Ryukyu gets closer. Ryukyu, Izuku. I feel something for you. Izuku, upon hearing this, is extremely surprised. Suddenly, Ryukyu kisses him, leaving him shocked. After a few seconds, Ryukyu pulls back, blushing noticeably. Ryukyu, I realized that I got so used to you that I ended up developing feelings for you, which make me miss you a lot. She says while looking at Izuku, who is still in shock. Ryukyu, Izuku? Izuku? She says while shaking Izuku, who doesn't react. Ryukyu becomes anxious and slaps him. Still in shock, Izuku finally reacts when Ryukyu shakes him more vigorously. Izuku, Miss Ryukyu. Are you serious? Ryukyu, yes, I'm very serious, Izuku. This is the first time I've felt like this about a younger guy, but I genuinely like you a lot. Izuku, initially shocked, quickly blushes, turning as red as a tomato. Ryukyu looks at him with tenderness. Ryukyu, you're cute when you blush. Izuku, please don't say such things, Miss Ryukyu. Ryukyu, call me by my name. Izuku, alright. Ryuko-chan. Ryukyu, Izuku, do you want me to be with you again? Izuku, I don't want to confirm anything, but I need time to process this. Yes, I have to think about what just happened and what you're asking. A few months ago, I annulled the marriage, so I need time. Ryukyu, okay, I'll wait for you. Izuku, are you sure about this, Ryuko-chan? Ryukyu, yes, I'm completely sure. I know my feelings for you are real. Izuku, alright, I'll have to think about it, okay? Ryukyu, okay. Izuku, if you want, you can stay here tonight. It's already late, and it's cold. Ryukyu, are you sure? Izuku, yes, don't worry. Besides, you took the trouble to come all the way here, and it's a 2-hour trip from the city. Ryukyu, well, I had to take a bus since it's so far, and I didn't know if you lived here. I decided to take a chance. Izuku, now that you mention it. Who told you I live here? Ryukyu, nay higher. Izuku, I see. I guess she's so absent-minded that she forgot the director told her not to tell anyone where I live since I have important things here. Ryukyu, well, I made a deal with her that she couldn't refuse, or rather, she forced me to make a deal. Izuku, I see. He laughs, and Ryukyu pouts. Ryukyu, what are you laughing at? Izuku, not at you. It just amused me that she forced you when she's so innocent that it's hard to believe she'd do that. Ryukyu, how do you know she's innocent? Izuku, the day she came with Aizawa-sensei, Director Nezu, Tagata-senpai, Amajiki-senpai, and Futaba-chan, we made a lot of jokes that she didn't understand. Ryukyu, I see. Who is Futaba? Izuku, she's a classmate I taught robotics to. She does the same thing as me, but her inventions used to explode. Due to some favors I owed the director, I had to give her lessons. It was great, we became good friends. He says with a nice tone, causing Ryukyu to look surprised. Ryukyu, I see. That's great, as you're gaining more fame in the academy, and little by little, you'll become more famous due to your intelligence and inventions. Izuku, now that you mention it, a few days ago, Director Nezu sent me a message saying he needs me to make the same robot I made when I lived at my mother's house. Ryukyu, really? Izuku, yes, he said the materials would arrive in 3 more days. Ryukyu, do you want me to help you build the robot like last time? Izuku, are you sure? You have work. Ryukyu, don't worry, work can wait. Besides, I don't think it will take us long to build the robot since the first time we did it, we didn't know how. Izuku, well, I did, but it has to be done patiently because the cables need to be connected correctly, among other things, and the mobility system has to be exact. Ryukyu, yes, but you know how to create it, right? Izuku, yes, it won't take us many days. I think about 5 days, and it'll be ready. Ryukyu, great, then let me know as soon as the materials arrive so we can start assembling the robot. Izuku, okay. Ryukyu, one more thing. Kaina has been looking for you. You should talk to her too since she seems to care a lot about you. Izuku, alright, but everything in due time. I'll talk to her, but for now, I need to do some things before speaking with her. Ryukyu, okay. Izuku, well, I think it's time to go to bed. Ryukyu, why yes. Where am I going to sleep? Izuku, we'll have to sleep together since there are no blankets in the other beds in the other rooms. Ryukyu, I see. Well. Izuku, well. Both get up and go to the second floor, causing the light downstairs to turn off on its own. Once Izuku and Ryukyu reach Izuku's room, he goes to the bathroom to change clothes. Once changed, he sees Ryukyu sitting on the bed. Izuku, what's wrong? Ryukyu, I don't have pajamas. Izuku, right. You'll have to wear one of my longer t-shirts. Ryukyu, alright. Izuku, pick any you like, my clothes are in the big cabinet there. He says, pointing to a large cabinet. Ryukyu walks over, opens the drawers, and starts looking for a t-shirt. She finds a long-sleeved one that she likes, takes it, and goes to the bathroom to change. When she's ready, she comes out with the t-shirt on, making Izuku blush and avoid looking at her as she looks quite beautiful. Ryukyu, well. Ryukyu walks to the bed, lifts the blankets, and lies down. Izuku does the same, and once they are both lying down, Izuku turns off the light, leaving them in the dark. Izuku, good night, Ryuko-chan. Ryukyu, good night, Izuku-kun. Izuku closes his eyes, sighs, and starts to fall asleep. Suddenly, he feels Ryukyu hugging him, making him a bit nervous. Ryukyu, I'm cold. Can I sleep hugging you? Izuku, sure. Ryukyu, thank you. Izuku, you're welcome. They both fall silent until slowly drifting into a deep sleep, entering the world of dreams. The next day at Izuku's house, he wakes up feeling someone hugging him. He looks and sees Ryukyu peacefully sleeping, making Izuku happy. Izuku, she looks so cute. He says, then gently strokes Ryukyu's face, making her smile while still asleep. Izuku, I'll get up to make breakfast. With that, Izuku slowly moves, freeing himself from Ryukyu's embrace. She notices but continues sleeping, while our protagonist goes to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. After a while, Izuku finishes cooking and goes back to the room to wake up Ryukyu. Ryukyu, what's happening? She says, rubbing her eyes and yawning. Izuku, breakfast is ready. Ryukyu, alright, I'll be down in a moment. Izuku, don't take too long. With that said, Izuku goes to the dining room, while Ryukyu gets up and starts heading down. However, halfway down the stairs, she realizes what happened, her face turning red. Ryukyu, no, it can't be. Is this really happening? She says, recalling that Izuku woke her up and told her breakfast was ready. Her face turns as red as a tomato, but she hears Izuku calling her, so she continues down to the dining room, where she sees Izuku pouring hot water into the cups. Izuku, good morning. He says, smiling at Ryukyu, who looks away, still quite embarrassed. Ryukyu, go good morning. Izuku, come, sit down, and let's have breakfast. Ryukyu, oh okay. Ryukyu approaches Izuku, who places the teapot on the table and pulls out a chair for her to sit. Ryukyu, thank you. Izuku, you're welcome. Izuku sits in another chair, and they start to eat. However, Izuku notices Ryukyu blushing and becomes concerned. Izuku, are you okay? Ryukyu, why yes, why? Izuku, your face is red. Are you getting sick? Ryukyu, relax, I'm fine. It's just that this is new to me. Izuku, it's new for me too, but we'll get used to it, right? Izuku, besides, it's not the first time we've had breakfast together. Ryukyu, I know, but after you confessed and woke me up, coming down to this. It's new. Izuku, why yeah, but it's good. Also, I've missed having breakfast with someone other than Wally and Eva, who don't eat and just recharge. Ryukyu, I missed it too. Since I started living with you, everything in my life changed, and I felt really good. Izuku, I see. I'm sorry for everything I did, but I needed time to recover from everything. I was waiting for the right moment to talk to you, but you beat me to it. Ryukyu, I missed you a lot, and I wanted to see if my feelings for you were what I thought. Thank God they were. I really like you and want to be with you. Izuku blushes and chokes, prompting him to pat his chest and gulp down his breakfast, then sighs in relief. Ryukyu, are you okay? Izuku, why yes, you caught me by surprise. Ryukyu, I'm sorry. Izuku, it's okay, don't worry. They continue breakfast until later when Ryukyu stands up, takes the dirty dishes, and goes to the kitchen. Izuku approaches her. Izuku, what are you doing? Ryukyu, I'm going to wash the dirty dishes. Izuku, don't worry, I can handle that. Ryukyu, no, didn't you forget that I want to help you? From the start, I wanted to help you, but you never let me. At least let me wash the dishes. Izuku, but. Ryukyu, Izuku-kun, there's nothing wrong with me wanting to do this. Don't think you're being sexist just because I want to wash the dishes. Izuku, alright. Ryukyu, go take a shower. Izuku, okay. Izuku watches Ryukyu wash the dishes and says nothing more as he goes to shower. Later, he comes out dressed, seeing Ryukyu getting dressed. Izuku, do you want me to take you home? Ryukyu, yes, I need to change clothes and take a shower. Izuku, alright. They both get ready and leave the house, getting into the car. Izuku starts driving, conversing with Ryukyu. Meanwhile, with Nagant. She's walking the streets of Musatafu, looking around, trying to spot Izuku but failing. She sighs, and her gaze becomes somewhat depressed. Nagant, Where are you, Izuku-kun? He says as he walks until he sees Mount Lady fighting a villain with a strange power that allows him to transform his arms into weapons. Mount Lady suffers gunshot wounds, sword cuts, and even hammer blows, leaving her heavily injured. Even in her giant form, she can't land a single hit on the villain, who, seeing her injured, transforms his right arm into a missile launcher. Die, you cursed hero. The villain fires a missile, but just before it hits Mount Lady, something happens, causing the missile to explode prematurely, saving Mount Lady. What happened? Why did it explode before hitting her? Nagant, it's because I destroyed your damn missile, villain. Nagant says as she aims her rifle at the guy, who has an angry expression with his arms down. Damn you, you're Lady Nagant. Nagant, I see you know me. So, you know what will happen if you don't surrender, right? Yes, but. His arm transforms into a grenade launcher, and Nagant hits him on the head, knocking him unconscious. However, 5 grenades fall to the ground, making her alert. She jumps back, but the grenades explode, enveloping Nagant in the blast. A large cloud of smoke and dust rises from the explosion. When it clears, a large crater is visible, but there's no one there, surprising the onlookers who saw Nagant engulfed in the blast. Mount Lady, Kaina. She says as she slowly gets to her feet, struggling due to her injuries. People stare at the crater until they hear something flying above them. They look up and gradually see something approaching. Quickly moving away, they witness a person in iron armor landing, holding Kaina in their arms. Mount Lady, who are you? Izuku, I am Iron Man. He says, then walks towards Mount Lady, who starts returning to her normal size. Mount Lady, how did you manage to save her? I saw her caught in the explosion of the grenades. Izuku, it was just when she was engulfed in the explosion. Luckily, I arrived in time, otherwise, she would be dead, along with the villain. Mount Lady, couldn't you save him? Izuku, unfortunately, no. But at least I could save her, and that's what matters. He says, then watches as 2 ambulances arrive, and paramedics approach Izuku, who hands over Kaina. Mount Lady begins to be treated by the paramedics. Izuku, well, my job here is done. With that said, Izuku takes off into the air. After reaching a good altitude, he starts flying back to his house. Landing in his yard, he walks to his base, removes the armor, and stretches. Izuku, we saved Kaina, and it's a good way to start hero work, don't you think, Jarvis? He says with a happy tone as he walks to his computer. Certainly, my lord. The crowd at the scene recorded the moment you arrived and posted it on social media and even YouTube. Izuku, really? He says as he checks YouTube, quickly finding a video of himself. After watching it, he reads the comments, seeing both positive and negative ones. Izuku, well, as always, some people comment negatively. But from what I can see, there are more positive comments than negative. Slowly, you will gain fame, my lord. Izuku, exactly. Now we need to find a way to know when things happen in the city. I'll go to UA and talk to the director to get a police radio. Very well, my lord. Izuku, we also have to figure out how the armor can go to the places where I am. When bad things happen, I have to be there to save civilians. Should I start planning something for that, my lord? Izuku, yes, and we also need to paint the armor. Take care of that too. Certainly, my lord. Izuku, well, see you later, Jarvis. He says, then goes upstairs to his room, changes clothes, goes down, leaves the house, gets in his car, and heads to Musatafu City. After a while, he arrives, goes to UA, and enters the building, seeing everyone in recess staring at him. Izuku, wow, I feel strange with everyone's eyes on me. He thinks to himself as he walks. Someone shouts his name, and Nehire quickly approaches him. Izuku, oh, this is going to hurt. Izuku, Hato-senpai, wait. He says as he steps back a bit, but Nehire, a few centimeters from Izuku, jumps and collides with him. They fall to the ground, with Nehire hugging him. Tamaki and Mirio approach. Nehire, how are you, Midoriya-kun? We haven't seen each other in a while. She says, looking at Izuku, who is bleeding from the nose due to Nehire's chest being in his face. Tamaki, Nehire, Midoriya can't talk if you're on top of him. Nehire, oh, I'm sorry, Midoriya-kun. She says, getting up, but notices her clothes are slightly stained with blood. She quickly cleans it while Izuku gets up with Tamaki's help. Tamaki, are you okay, Midoriya? Izuku, yes, thanks for helping me, Amajiki-senpai. Tamaki, you're welcome. Mirio, it's been a while since we've seen you, Midoriya. What are you up to? Izuku, well, I came to talk about something with the director. I didn't think I'd run into you guys, hee. He says while cleaning the blood from his nose. Tamaki, Hato-san saw you enter and told us to come and greet you, but it seems her excitement got the better of her. Nay higher, I'm sorry, Midoriya-kun. It wasn't my intention to make you fall. Izuku, and no worries, Hato-senpai. I'm really glad to see you all, and your excitement and joy are good, they even infect me a bit, hee. Izuku smiles, making Nei higher, Mirio, and Tamaki also smile. Mirio, do you want us to accompany you to the director's office? Izuku, really? Mirio, yes, that way, we can chat, and you can tell us about the new robots you've created. Izuku, okay, let's go. Nei higher, yay. She says with excitement, then grabs Izuku's arm, starting to walk. Izuku blushes and feels many hostile glares. After a few minutes, Izuku arrives at Nezu's office. He knocks gently on the door, and Nezu's voice instructs him to enter. Without hesitation, Izuku opens the door and enters alone, noticing that Midnight is also in the office. This leaves Izuku silent, not knowing what to say. Izuku, hello, Director Nezu. Hello, Midnight Sensei. Nezu, hello, young Midoriya. What brings you here? Izuku, I came to talk to you because I urgently need you to get something for me. Nezu, it seems to be something quite important, isn't it? Izuku, yes. Nezu, well, Midnight, can you step out for a few minutes? I need to talk to young Midoriya. Midnight, huh? Oh, sure. She looks at Izuku, who avoids eye contact. Silently, she leaves the office, causing Izuku to sigh when Midnight closes the door. Nezu, it seems you find it difficult to face her. Izuku, yes, it's the first time I've seen her since I cancelled the marriage. Nezu, well, you'll have to talk to her because she's waiting outside for you. Izuku, eh? Nezu, remember, I'm an animal, so my senses are more developed than yours. I know she's waiting for you outside. Izuku, I see. Well, about why I came. Nezu, tell me, young man, what do you need? Izuku, I need a police radio. Nezu, and what do you need that for? Izuku, I want to invent something new, and I need a police radio. Nezu, alright, I can easily get that for you. Izuku, great. Nezu, was that all? Izuku, no, I also need other things. Nezu, alright, tell me what you need. He listens to Izuku's requests and notes them down on a piece of paper. Nezu, young Midoriya, I recently received an email from David Shield. Izuku, really? That's incredible. Nezu, indeed, and what it says will make you happy. Look. Nezu turns the computer screen to show the open email. He reads it, and a tremendous excitement builds within him. Izuku, is this real? Nezu, yes, he wants you to go to Island because you've gained quite a bit of fame at the academy. He's curious about your inventions, and he knows about the advanced artificial intelligence and hologram you created. Izuku, that's amazing. I'm so happy. Nezu, in 3 weeks, you'll have to go. For now, focus on your things. Izuku, yes, thank you, Director. Nezu, one more thing, you can bring someone with you. It's a good time to talk to them. Izuku, yes, thank you, Director. Really, thank you. Izuku bows and leaves the office, confirming that Nezu was right, as Midnight is waiting outside leaning against the wall. Midnight, Izuku. Izuku, Midnight Sensei. Midnight, can we talk, or are you too busy? Izuku, I'm a bit busy, but we can still talk. Is it okay if we go out tomorrow to talk more comfortably? Midnight, alright, but I don't want to interrupt your affairs. Is it okay if we go out tomorrow at 7 p.m.? Izuku, yes, that's fine. Midnight, okay. Midnight approaches Izuku, who takes a step back, but Midnight doesn't stop until she reaches him and hugs him, surprising Izuku a bit. After a few seconds, she pulls away. Midnight, I missed you a lot. Izuku. Izuku, what do I say? I have to say something that doesn't sound too rude. Izuku, I missed you too. He says with a bit of nervousness, causing Midnight to look at him and have a slight smile. Izuku, well, I have to go. See you tomorrow, Midnight Sensei. Midnight, yes, see you. Izuku runs off, and Midnight watches him leave. Midnight, I guess I do feel affection for you, Izuku. She says as she touches her chest with her hands before entering the office. Meanwhile, Izuku arrives at his car and quickly leaves, thinking about what just happened. Izuku, darn it. Why do I feel like this when I see her? Do I feel a bit of affection for her? He says while driving until he reaches the city. While driving, he spots Mirko jumping across buildings towards a villain causing chaos. Izuku, looks like she's still the same. He says while looking at her but doesn't have time to watch. He veers off and heads to the city hospital. Izuku, maybe I can talk to her. He says while driving until he reaches the hospital, parks the car, and walks to the entrance. Inside, he sees several people but goes to the reception. Izuku, hello, good afternoon. Receptionist, hello, young man. What do you need? Izuku, I'm here to see someone, my ex-wife, Kainat Satsumi. The receptionist starts looking for records until they find it. Receptionist, yes, it says here she was married to Izuku Midoriya. Izuku, yes, it's me. Receptionist, alright, she's in room 50 on the 5th floor. Izuku, thank you very much. With your permission, I'll take my leave. He says before walking to the elevator, getting in, and going to the 5th floor. Once there, he walks out of the elevator. Izuku, alright, room 50 he says, starting to walk through the floor with the intention of finding room 50. After a few minutes, he locates it and gently knocks on the door. Someone inside tells him to come in, so he opens the door slowly and sees Kaina. She looks at him in silence, and Izuku approaches her after closing the door. Izuku, hello, Miss Kaina. He says as he looks at her, but quickly feels Kaina grabbing his clothes and pulling him towards her, leaving Izuku nestled between her chest as she hugs his head. Kaina, where were you? Why did you abandon me? Why didn't you take me with you? Do you know how long I've been searching for you? She says, tears welling up in her eyes. Izuku feels the tears fall on his head and sighs, hugging Nagant, who embraces him even tighter, making it hard for him to breathe. Izuku, Miss Kaina, I can't breathe. Kaina, I'm so sorry. She says, letting him go a bit for Izuku to catch his breath and step back. But Kaina then hugs him by the neck, leaving Izuku face to face with her. She looks at him with a fixed gaze, giving him a sweet smile. Izuku, why you're so pretty. He says, mesmerized by Kaina's smile, making her blush a bit when he called her pretty. Izuku snaps out of his trance and turns as red as a tomato. Izuku, sorry. I didn't mean. He doesn't finish his sentence as Kaina puts a finger on his lips. Kaina, don't worry. I liked hearing that. Izuku turns even redder, and Kaina, seeing his reaction, lets him go. Izuku steps back a bit, looking at the floor to calm down. Kaina, how did you know I'm here? Izuku, well. I saw the news about an armored guy saving you from an explosion. I got worried and came here because I care a lot about you. Also, I wanted to talk to you. Kaina, oh, you caring for me makes my love for you even greater, Izu-kun. She says, getting closer to Izuku, who blushes a bit. Izuku, oh okay. Kaina, you haven't changed at all. You still get all blushy and nervous when a woman approaches you, fufu. She says playfully, making Izuku scratch the back of his neck. Izuku, why yeah. Kaina, well, honey, what do you want to talk about? Do you want us to be a couple and be together again? Izuku, well, yes and no. Kaina, what do you mean yes and no? Izuku, well. I want to fix things and be on good terms. I have a lot of affection for you since you've been with me since I was little. But then, the prison thing happened, and I didn't see you again until now. That's why I want you to live with me, assuming you're living alone and feeling lonely. Kaina blushes a lot upon hearing all this, and she hugs him tightly. Kaina, of course, honey, of course, I want to live with you. I also want to have my husband and wife moment with you, so I'll move in with you today. Izuku, oh okay. But Ryuko-chan will also be living in the house. I hope that's not a problem. Kaina, what? Did she talk to you before me? She says a bit annoyed, making Izuku nervous. Izuku, why yes. Kaina, I see. I guess I'll have to settle the score. Izuku, no, I don't want any fights in the house. If you need to vent, you'll have to go fight villains. Also, I want everyone to get along well at home. He says with an authoritative tone, surprising Kaina. Izuku notices that she goes silent and starts thinking that he messed up, but on the contrary, Kaina liked that Izuku acted this way, and now she became submissive because she liked that Izuku was authoritative. Equals 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 equals. Me. Oh no, Deku is in trouble now. He has to deal with a submissive Kaina. Izuka Todoroki 367. Our bush with legs is in trouble. Me. Yeah, unfortunately, there's going to be a serious problem with Kaina now. Equals 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 equals. Kaina. I think I got wet. Kaina, you're so authoritative, honey. I like you even more. She says with an affectionate tone, causing a shiver to run down Izuku's spine. Izuku, you Kaina, well, sweetheart, it's time to go. Izuku, sure. Izuku leaves the room while Kaina gets up from the bed, puts on her boots, and exits the room. Kaina, ready? Izuku, nods. Kaina takes Izuku's hand, making him blush a lot, but he doesn't say anything, and they start walking until they leave the hospital. Izuku gets into his car, Kaina follows, and he closes the door, then gets in and starts driving to the mall.